What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, April 23rd. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comment section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Jusuf Nurkic, Marcus Smart, Armoni Brooks, Tristan Thompson, and Paul George on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It is time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to Michael Porter Jr. He is small forward eligible, 7,400, projected for about 35. The goal's 48. He's in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. Small forward is really thin today on FanDuel, so that's why we're seeing Porter climb a little bit higher than I would have expected. 32 minutes, though, 1.08 fantasy points per minute, 22% usage, 20 real points, 7.5 boards. Now, you're not getting too much else, 1.6 stocks, but what you are getting is an awesome pace-up spot against the Golden State Warriors. The Nuggets gained 2.7 possessions over their average just by taking on the Warriors, and I think that's what's helping to push Porter up a little bit higher. The usage is there. The shots are there with no Murray on the floor. Porter is the legitimate number 2 option on the Nuggets. And I think against Golden State, that is a really nice place to be on a day where small forward is going to be the most difficult position for you to fill. Next up at number 4, we're going to the point guard spot and putting $8,700 down on Damian Lillard, 45 fantasy point projection. The goal is 52.5. He's in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. 36 minutes. Could be 37 or 38. You never know with Dame. 1.26 fantasy points per minute. 30% usage. 27 real points. 8 assists. 4 boards. A steal. And a pace-up spot against Memphis. Now, I know I've said this a couple times recently, but they'll play a little bit faster with no Joe Val on the floor, and he is not back again today. 1.8 possessions over their average in this matchup for the Blazers and for Lillard. Again, I think that Damian Lillard is just a 9K player, and he's underpriced right now. I think he'll get back to normal eventually. I think having Jusuf Nurkic back and playing bigger minutes will actually be a benefit. That's just one more guy that has some talent out on the floor that can open things up just slightly. Because if you give Damian Lillard just a sliver of space, that ball's going up and that ball's going in. I think he's going to get back to being normal Dame Lillard soon. 8,700 is going to look like a bargain. But you could also pay up a little bit further and go to point guard Russell Westbrook, my number 3 contender. He's 11K, projected for 55. The goal's 60.5, and he's in the optimal lineup 26% of the time. Russ is playing monster minutes. He's playing Dame-style minutes, 38. I've got him at 1.44 fantasy points per minute, 33% usage, 25 points, 12 boards, 9.5 assists, and 2 stocks. It's a pace-up spot against Oklahoma City. I assume Russell Westbrook feels some kind of way when he takes on the Thunder, and not that I needed any additional reason. It doesn't factor in here, but it certainly feels like a nice checkbox in the right column. That's for sure. Look, you're never going to feel bad about playing Russ because at the minimum, he's going to give you, 20, 10, and 10 just as a baseline. That's the bad game for Russell Westbrook. On the off chance that he is getting to the rack, and against Oklahoma City, why wouldn't he be? Or on the off chance that his jump shot is actually falling, and against Oklahoma City, why wouldn't it be? He's going to shoot a ton. And the days that Russell Westbrook goes for 40, he's going to become a necessity. And I'm kind of feeling like today on a 7-game slate, that's what Russell Westbrook is. Now at number 2, we're taking a little bit of a step up in tier. We're going to power forward eligible JAYSON Tatum. He's 9,500, projected for 50. The goal is 55. He's in the optimal lineup 31% of the time. He has been shooting terribly over the past 2 games since he's been placed on the injury report with an ankle impingement. But I'm not expecting to see Kemba Walker on this back-to-back. Jaylen Brown was out yesterday and ruled out pretty early as well. Certainly questionable now. We won't know anything until the 1:30 injury report, but I'm assuming Jaylen Brown doesn't play, which means that JAYSON Tatum takes a massive bump. 36 minutes, 1.39 fantasy points per minute, 35% usage, 31 real points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 2 stocks, pace neutral spot against Brooklyn, but Brooklyn's defense is absolutely terrible. This is as good of a spot as you're going to find for JAYSON Tatum. I love him in the power forward spot. I'm a little nervous about his health, but I'm not at all nervous about his opportunity. He's going to shoot and shoot and shoot with Jaylen Brown off the floor and with Kemba off the floor. I'm just going to bet that they go in. Now, before we get to that number one contender, one last reminder, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then, follow me on Twitter, at Josh Engleman. It's the only place that you can get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. Finally, in the comments section of this video, let me know who your favorite contender is, your least favorite contender, and if you see someone, or you have someone that should be on this list that you do not see, please let me know who that is. This one's gonna be fun. The number one contender, small forward eligible, LUGUENTZ, 5,700, projected for 30.5. The goal is 42. He's in the optimal lineup 37% of the time. Now, DORT is questionable, so keep an eye on it. But when DORT is in, and we have no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and no Al Horford, boy, oh boy, does it get kind of crazy. LUGUENTZ's got a 28% usage rate in that time. I gave him 38 minutes, just north of a fantasy point per minute. 20 real points, 4 boards, 2 assists, a steal. He doesn't do a ton else, but here's the biggie. The Oklahoma City Thunder are taking on the Washington Wizards. In this matchup, they will gain over 5 possessions above their average. This is the biggest pace-up spot in the league, and I think that is fantastic. That gives LUGUENTZ like an additional 2.5 fantasy points or something in it, 2 to 2.5. That's monstrous, particularly at a small forward spot that is incredibly difficult to fill. He is on a completely different level at small forward. 37% compared to Michael Porter Jr.'s 24%. That's a giant gap, and there's not really anybody very close after that. So if LUGUENTZ is in, I think he's going to be near the top or at the top all day. LUGUENTZ, the number one contender on FanDuel today. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, April 23rd. Process show is in the books, and it was a good one. You should go check it out. DraftKings version of this video is around here somewhere, and I'm on the process show. Nope, I'm on the strategy show with Laffy today at 10 a.m., and then that is it. No live before lock for me today. You won't see me again until Sunday morning on the strategy show. So, good luck tonight, everybody. Please have a great weekend. I will see you again Monday morning for another edition of the Contenders.